So this is a Lunar Quasar 524, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake will demonstrate to you in person here on site. In the front locker, you've got your gas bottle with your gas valve on the top here. So you turn the gas supply on by turning the valve anti-clockwise and clockwise to turn the gas supply off. On the bulkhead, you've got your gas regulator with your gas valve on the side here to isolate the gas supply should you ever need to the caravan. Coming down the right hand side of the van, you've got your Truma heating and hot water flue, very simply there to allow the heating system to breathe. Don't need to do anything with this. There's no cover to take off or anything, so you just leave it as it is, but don't ever cover it up when the heating system is in operation, should you wish to cover it up when it's in storage. Down the side of the van, you've got your two wind down legs. So you've got one of these on either side at the front of the caravan to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. There's also two at the rear of the caravan that come in from the back of the van. Then got your water pump connection. Very simply, pull back the blue trigger to release, and release from the side of the van, and push in and pull the blue trigger back to lock it into position on the side of the van. There is a filter in the top here, and you've got an option for the dog shower, as they call them, on the side of the van here. If you speak to Colin in our shop, he may be able to order you one should you want one. In the locker next along, you'll find your battery for the caravan with your two connections on top, positive and negative. Do need to make sure these are tightened correctly if you do disconnect them between each use. On the back of the van, you've got your on the side here, you've got your electrical connection which connects to the mains power on site. Do need to make sure it is pushed in and connected correctly prior to turning the power on at the power point at the side of the van, or at the back of the van, depending on where it is on your site you go to. Motor mover and wheel nuts will demonstrate the motor mover to you here when we hook up to the car, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts so they've been tightened correctly. Two grey waste pipes come out the side of the van and go into these larger diameter holes here on the side of here, and push them in place and they'll drop down inside your waste master. Side of the van here, you've got your toilet flush tank, which you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. Underneath that, you've got your toilet waste cassette, which you'll release by pulling your orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The orange neck here turns out 90 degrees so you can tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink fluid. And on the back of the set, you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. In that grey cassette, you need to put 1 litre of water and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. Back of the van, you've got your two wind down legs to stabilise the van again. Coming down the door side, you've got your two fridge vents. These need to be left open at all times, so you don't ever cover these up, so the fridge can breathe. And then you've got your barbecue gas point, and then you've got your mains, locker for underneath the front seating area. Coming on to the inside of the caravan now. As you come into the caravan, on the left hand side, you've got your main control panel, so you've got your master power switch, your voltmeter at the top here to tell you how much power is in the battery on board, your awning light for above the door on the outside, and then your internal lighting on the switch here, on and off, which will turn off the 240 lights. You've then got your water pump switch, which we'll come back to in a moment.
So the heating system, you operate it by turning the panel on here. We've then got the room temperature, which we can adjust up and down and press set. We've then got our power source, which at the moment we've got on just electric. We can then use it on gas on its own, or a mixture of gas and electric. And then we've got the water. So what we can do there, where you can see it's highlighted, we can heat the water up. The pump is on, so as we then turn water on, with the water heater on, if we open a cold tap, it'll bring out cold water. If we open a hot tap, once we've given it 20 minutes or so to warm up, it will start giving warm water. As we step along, in terms of your windows and blinds, you've got fly blinds, which are here. You've also got night blinds, which are here. Windows open as so, and you can lock them off using the locking nuts just there. And you've also got a vent setting, which is just there.
Some children carry more than others.
Please make sure they're locked back down before you go anywhere. Underneath here,
Do you see children in
you've got your water drainage, so when you're leaving the van for winter or when you're not using the caravan, it's best to drain the water out, and you do that by lifting that yellow flap and all the grey water will come out. That's not got any chemicals in, so that can be disposed of without going to a disposal unit. The bed falls out using this slider here, and it comes out all the way to here, and we can then make the bed up using the cushions that are here. What I would advise, flip the cushions over to the flat side, and that will give you a flat mattress, which will make it the most comfortable. As we move back, you've got your bunk here, which can create into it can either be a dining area or be 2 single bunks. The fridge is operated by turning on here, and we can choose either mains, gas or the car battery. You can change the temperature using this one here, and this one will light up and flash red if there's an issue with the fridge. At the back there, you've got the serial numbers and the data plate for this particular fridge. If you could leave that sticker there for us, it would be appreciated. If you need any parts, those are the details we'll need. Hob, oven and grill. The lid needs to be fully up before any gas will flow through to this unit. You've got an electric ring in that corner, and you've got 3 gas. And you can see that they are controlled by here. You've then got your grill, which is just here, and your oven, which is this there. You've got an igniter just here. Underneath here, we've got our gas isolation valves. In theory, you shouldn't need to touch them, but if you ever speak to an engineer and they ask you to isolate the gas to a particular unit, you'll know where they are. In this cupboard here, you've got your mains trip switches and your fuses. You've got a little white button just here, which has got a T on for test. If you're plugged in to a site and you're not getting any mains power coming through, if you press that test button, it will then trip out if there is mains power coming in. If it doesn't trip out, it means there's a problem with the mains electric cable or where you are plugged into. As you move back, we've then got the toilet. So, lid comes up. You've got a cassette underneath, and there's a grey catch just here. You push it to the right to open. Use the toilet, and then to use the flush, you press this blue button here. That then rinses off and drops down into the cassette. When you're finished, close the cassette. When that light there comes on, it's time to empty. And as in the video before, it will show you pull the cassette out and you go to the emptying point to get rid of it. In this wardrobe, you've got your bunk boards at the bottom, and you've got your bunk ladder and cushions. And in this back corner, if I can get the angle right, you've got your multi-directional aerial. When you are on site, you'll find that all the aerials are pointing in 1 or 2 directions. Copy them and you go from there. You've got your shower unit, needs to be kept closed when in travelling. You've got your shower unit just there. Please make sure you don't step directly on the plug, because that's the weakest part of any shower tray. You then got your vanity unit with wardrobes underneath and mirrors. And then you've got in here where your freestanding table is, an extra wardrobe space with some drawers. So this is the Lunar. We'll go, if there's any questions, please ask, and we'll go through the rest on site.